a lot of creatives, and not all, but a lot of creatives kind of have a challenging background around mental health because so much of what drives us to create is also like kind of like the noise between our ears and all that, our life experiences. You've been a long-term creative who has literally been making a living through the process of creation, the output, being a part of that for so long. What have you done to address your mental health? You had mentioned therapy. Is that an ongoing process for you? And if so, like, and wherever you land with that, but also what else do you do to like really attend to that mental health?
So therapy was something that I started pretty, I would say early, especially early in this culture. So, in my 20s. A lot of it was, if I'm being honest, because back then it was sliding scale, but it was still expensive. It was more than I had.
Yeah,
And honestly, I was just paying this person just to be able to say things like "I'm gay" out loud,
yeah,
and not let that sort of sit in me so bottled up and sort of creating so much angst and anger. Um, but in the process, I've known and was later diagnosed with major depressive disorder. I've had that, um, for as long as I can remember, like even to the point where I remember being 5 or 6 years old and struggling with depression, which is crazy to me to think about now, especially when I see a 5 or 6 year old kid. I remember the feelings that I was dealing with inside at that point, and I can't imagine putting those feelings into a 5 or 6 year old kid that I meet because there's something about it that just seems so wrong to feel that way at that age. This feeling that I always had, though, was very much just one of disconnection. And it's telling that I think I moved into a lot of dissociation as a kid as well. And the reason why I say it's telling is because I think part of my mental health practice of the last 10 years, I would say, and certainly of the last 5, has involved a process that I call embodiment, which means, for me anyway, what this means is ending the false binary between mind and body. I think that over so many years, I'm kind of shocked that nobody in the mental health profession ever told me or asked me, what do you do physically?
hmm
Like, how are you taking care of yourself physically? It was always just, talk about your childhood and talk about the mind and everything that's going on in my mind and my feelings and crying and all this stuff. All good to know. But the mind does not operate separate from the body, it is interdependent. And the sooner you learn that, the sooner you have a million more tools at your disposal
hmm
to help sort of at least lessen the sort of blunt impact of depression. And so for me, some of that was from working out and from exercise, but also oddly enough, I about 5 years ago, I moved into a situation where I started practicing with a Zen teacher. And he used that term as part of meditation practice in Zen. And I was like, whoa, tell me more about this. How do you use this term embodiment? And the way I've sort of received it is that in my meditation practice, again, a lot of people meditate, but they focus everything on the mind. And in this meditation process, in Zen meditation, Zazen, they call it, it's really about feeling everything. And it's about understanding and feeling every part of your body whenever it twitches, whenever it pains you, whenever it sort of moves by itself, almost seemingly, right? You're sitting there in stillness, but you're still aware of your body and you're still aware that it's moving, it's doing something, even internally. And being able to sit with my own body as well as my mind is a completely different practice for me. And I think it's one that I will say also that there are adverse meditation reactions for some people, and that some people can actually, uh, reignite trauma sometimes from sitting this way. But for me anyway, I feel like I've been able to get to a place with it where that interdependence between body and mind becomes real. And I no longer fully depend on my mind to fix my mind.
Yeah, I love that.